Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our digital live stream today. My name is Ian, and I'm one of the field managers here at the Digital Summer Clinic. And today I'm joined with my co host, Justice, another field manager at the clinic. And today we're talking with owner of Thermoverse, Shantonio Birch. Thank you for joining, Shantonio, and thank you for everybody watching. We're excited to chat with you today. And to everybody watching, please make sure to comment your questions in the Q&A section for later in this chat.
Yes, nice to have you. And then to our viewers watching, just to get to know a little bit more about Shantonio. Shantonio is the founder of Thermoverse and one of the companies a couple of our interns worked with this past summer, including myself. Thermoverse is a Detroit based tech startup specializing in advanced thermal control solutions, and their technology addresses critical challenges in buildings, energy, and transportation. So, just getting into the first question. So, Shantonio, looking back on the summer clinic, what ways did the program directly contribute to your company's growth?
Well, I mean, we didn't have a very clean and clear digital presence. And thankfully for interns like you, Justice, right, we were able to start developing some traction that way. I feel that directly because of the work that you and the other digital summer intern that we had did, it has basically put our company in a different light, right, and put us on a
Mhm.
trajectory so that we can engage folks in a very non-technical way, right? So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, a lot of these companies in the startup phase don't have that digital presence yet. Like working with my company, they were at ground zero. So they're just trying to find a way to just find companies to even just get in a pilot program with. So having these digital communications and having some interns that are maybe more from our generation who've experienced social media and some of these other digital outreaches, I think that it was a good way for at least to get another perspective on how to kind of market your company and get them with.
Precisely. And for a tech company like ours, right, we focus heavily on the tech in the early stages, and oftentimes we'll ignore that we need to communicate that to everyone around you, right? And so the digital summer clinic really shape a lot of the trajectory of our company.
Yeah, and that's awesome to hear. That's kind of what we look for is that synchronous between the interns getting to gain their experience and then of course the company at the same time getting to gain what the interns know and can bring to the table. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next question here for you, Antonio. From your perspective, what was the most significant skill or mindset shift you observed in the clinic interns you worked with as they transitioned into a startup environment compared to kind of your traditional like corporate setting?
Well, I can't speak for a traditional corporate setting because I've never been in one, but I can imagine what it is like. Um, there's something known as the entrepreneurial mindset, also the do it first, then apologize later mindset, right? Or the do, and do a little bit more mindset. I think that was the biggest shift that I noticed in the interns. First, we have to empower them to let them feel like they can take that initiative to do. And once they start to do it, is that's where the magic starts to happen. Um, you know, I've brought quite a lot of interns, not necessarily from this digital summer clinic through Thermoverse. And the biggest thing that I've seen shifted in everyone is just taking agency over the work that was assigned to them and start thinking about ways to really extend that work out into the future so that you can deliver the value and impact that the company seek to make.
Yeah, I can most definitely agree, especially like last summer. I kind of experienced some stuff like that myself because it was a really big shift because there was just so much to adapt to, especially with like taking it initiative, like how you're saying. Because at first, I didn't really know exactly like what you were looking for or like what to do, but you pushing us to really just take initiative and do that, it just pushed me in different ways that I didn't really expect. So I can definitely see like how different that experience was from working in traditional like corporate settings. So for our last question, for future clinic interns considering a startup experience, what are the key differences between working in a startup versus a more established corporate setting?
Or working anywhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere.
Right. Well, you kind of have to adapt a kind of scrappy mindset, but it doesn't mean that there is no structure, right? For at least in our company, we do have structure. We use the SMART goal framework to set milestone goals for a particular quarter, and we find that that helps to empower people. It helps in the empowerment, right? So I would just say the key difference is you are the agent and the expert who will be hired to execute it on a task that you may or may not have a lot of experience with. And the key difference between those who succeed in a startup and not is to have the courage to get up and go talk to your neighbors, talk to folks around you. You're not going to solve all the problem, right? There are folks on the team in New Lab, Michigan Central, where we're located primarily. There are folks and other startups in that ecosystem who may have encountered similar challenges, right? Just get out there and talk to folks.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the name of the game with the clinic, networking and taking initiative, like you said on the previous question. You have your goals of the company. Every company should have those goals, but
Mhm.
your pathway to solving those goals, or at least accomplishing their goals, may not be the same between every intern. I kind of think of it. I mean, our clinic kind of motto here is fail faster. So
Mhm.
going out there, taking the
That's
initiative.
it.
Yep, trying out every possible solution, giving it the old honest college try. Just kind of,
There we go.
yep,
Yeah, like for us, I mean, Justice experienced it. We had this 1 week challenge where we said, hey, you only have, was it like 8 or 10 weeks with us, Justice?
Yeah, so we had 9 weeks with you, and the
You
very
had
first
nine
week
weeks.
was probably the most difficult because we were, transitioning into the startup space. So me and my partner, we kind of struggled a little bit the first week, but once we kind of figured out what you were looking for, it definitely helped us for sure.
Yeah, and a reason why they struggle is because within that first week, I say complete whatever you would complete in the 9 weeks and present it to me like it's your final day, right? And then the intention is for them to go out there, fail faster, come back, communicate the resource gaps so that we can navigate those resource gaps effectively. And if we can't fill those gaps, we're still going to get to the end. Maybe not the way how you like to, but we'll get to the end in a way that generate more value than not doing the work at all.
yeah. And I like that. I actually didn't hear about this 1 week challenge that you've given to them before, and
Yes.
I love it. Pressure makes diamonds. So putting that pressure on them, it gets
Well,
you to kind of
well,
try everything.
well. I don't think the intention was to add pressure, but it was to reduce the pressure and burnout that typically occur at the end of an internship, right? So you basically front load it, and the rest of the summer is just iterating towards the end because by the end of the first week, you'll have a very good sense of what will be required of you because you have done the final presentation, right? If you ever recall, like in any projects that you've had, um, I mean, I know myself, I scramble towards the end plenty of times. And I always say, if I only have one more week, right, I could have done so much more. So what I've done instead, taken from my own experience, I front load the pressure up front so that you don't only have one more week to work on it. In Justice's case, she had 8 weeks to iterate and refine on what her final product would be.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think that's a really good strategy for a lot of future companies that are going to be coming to the clinic, that they could do, because I mean, personally myself, when I got near to that, I knew my time was ending with the company. That burnout kind of hit. So you're either just trying to, wrap up loose ends, or you really don't have that one extra week. So I like that it's kind of installing that mentality into them, and you're going to get better results out of that from the interns, and the interns are going to be able to, grow from that, being able to present everything in the first week, and then they have 8 weeks to improve upon it. So I really like that. So normally right now we would get to our Q&A section, but unfortunately we don't have any questions today. So maybe Shantonio, do you want to give any last piece of advice for interns coming into the clinic this summer?
Well, how about I don't give it and I ask Justice to give that advice since she worked with us so closely, right?
Okay.
Go ahead, Justice.
That's a great question. Advice, I'd probably just say try to become adaptable because every situation that you're put in is different. And especially for interns, every company is different. So, what I like to say is every intern experience is definitely going to be different. So, definitely a difference between startup companies and the traditional corporate setting. So, just try to become adaptable, really open up your network, really be open to connections. So I guess you can say that's really my advice that I've learned so far.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that part, right? The company has its goal that it wants to achieve by bringing you in, right? I would say you should come in with your own personal goals and have a set of personal wins that you want. For me, one way that I help to navigate folks through it, and I wish that more companies would do this, but if you're coming into the clinic and you're working with a company that don't come with this kind of structure, I would advise you to write down what your resume statement would look like, or what you want it to look like at the end of that engagement. And then you work with your internship coordinator or supervisor to iterate and get to it so that it becomes true, so that you win, the company wins, everybody is happy.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you're continuing to work on your resume throughout it all, and you'll finish the clinic with an updated resume already ready to start submitting out and to get into your next either internship or full-time position. So it's just a great streamlined way to get you into your future career and achieve those goals. So before we head out, I just want to thank everyone again for watching today's Digital Live, and thank you, Shantonio, for being here. Having you on has been wonderful.
Yeah, so really nice to see you again, Antonio, and talk with you. But to our viewers, continue to keep up to date with our digital live events this spring. Our next live will be on March 27th. And also, if you're interested in applying to the Digital Summer Clinic, visit our website at digitalsummer.clinic to apply. Applications will close on April 25th. So we will see you at the next Digital Live.